Hello everybody, Nick here. So as you all know, on my channel I talk about a wide variety of different topics. The main, focus of the channel is to open people's minds to other possibilities and just preach as much truth as possible, try to find the answers to things if possible. Somewhat connect a community of like-minded thinkers, people who are not enjoying this reality, this human experience. But so that's why I don't shy away from many different topics, even though it's not always about the negative, how life sucks and things like that, but also, things within this life that kind of make it an awful place to exist and carry ourselves through this experience, because this one big experience is also many different little experiences along the way. So let's get to it. And I'm not claiming in this video that I know everything. I'm not claiming that I'm a doctor. I'm not claiming any of these things that says that this could help you, this may not help you, this is a diagnosis. None of this stuff. This is not to just to be clear on that. So as humans, we are very fragile. We are susceptible to many sicknesses, ailments, physical problems. You name it, it can happen to the human body, to us. We are indeed very fragile in this realm. And one of the things that has been talked about for many, decades is the disease of cancer. Now I'm going to talk a bit about what I think it is from all of the things that I've researched and many of the things that I've heard or seen, and just general things. I'm not I want the truth as to what it is, but I'm just simply saying my theory and why and whatnot. Now, it appears that this disease hasn't been around for very long. But there's also the notion that in each one of us already lives cancer. Cancer is essentially a cell that has gone radical or hasn't been able to self-destruct or has been removed by the immune system, the T cell or the white blood cell. I believe that's what's responsible for taking out a cell that has been damaged or has gone, haywire. So what I believe is that over the course of the last 50, 60 years, humanity, mankind, whatever, has caused this disease, dis-ease, to really skyrocket in the population, because it's now, I think, in 1 in every 2 people, or like somebody said, everyone will know somebody, every 1 in 2 people will know somebody with cancer or something like that. It seems to me that the diet, especially the standard American diet, has really exacerbated this. Sure, there's many factors, smoking and the pollution that we have here, the toxic chemicals in our food, in our water, in our air, the environment essentially. Another factor is stress. I think, really honestly, stress is a huge factor, because from information that I've gathered, it seems that when you're under stress, your immune system is essentially inoperable or just is not working at capacity. which allows for, all kinds of things, not just cancer, but different types of viruses, bacteria to really thrive, because there's essentially no policeman to remove this. So those are some reasons why it's happening. Obviously drug use, alcohol use, anything that is deemed a toxin or a chemical obviously is not going to make you healthy. I am a believer myself that most pharmaceutical drugs are also dangerous. I'm not telling you not to use them. Go to your doctor, whatever, the whole standard spiel. But I believe that. Radiation from Wi-Fi is also another culprit these days, because we're completely and utterly covered in radiation everywhere, everywhere. Sure, the sun is a form of radiation, for sure. You get too much sun exposure, it could cause damage, free radical damage, which is what happens to the cells. There's a lot of free radicals within us. And if your body's not able to take care of it, that's what causes tumors and this and that. But the real thing that I wanted to say in this video is that there's a massive spike of turbo cancers going on. That's not a scientific term, turbo cancer. Where it's happening in a lot of young people, which is kind of bizarre. Sure, it's diet and lack of exercise, all these things that I've mentioned as well. But there's some other thing that a lot of people do not want to acknowledge that is causing this. And it's kind of like the elephant in the room. For those of you that don't know what that means, it's when it's like it's obvious, it should be right in our face. The reason is right in our face, but no one wants to admit it, obviously, because too much money involved, too much of anything involved, too much of this corruption involved, too much. It's amazing how profits over people's lives is just so much more important. And it goes with the whole adage, if there was cures for these things, you lose a customer. It's better for these corporations or pharmaceutical companies or whatever to have sick patients, because you're going to constantly have to keep giving them something just to slowly keep them, to keep them alive, and they're slowly dying. That's just, but the real reason is as I say, forced medical procedure on the public, on humanity, in 2021. That's when it was launched. And when I say forced, yes, when you tell someone that they're not going to be able to work, that they can't have movement, they can't travel, they can't do whatever that they want to do, that in itself is a form of forcing something onto somebody. I can't say here what it is, but I'm sure you guys are smart enough, my audience, to see to know what I'm talking about. And it's not a coincidence to say that those numbers of cancer figures have skyrocketed over the last 3 years. It's just, really disgusting that this happened. Unfortunate, a lot of people did not heed the warnings of many people, including myself. Sure, I didn't have a YouTube channel then, but I did warn people that I knew that this was a unproven quote-unquote solution. And now many people are suffering. Many. This is going to be millions of people, millions upon millions of people. A few billion took it, this forced medical medicine or procedure, whatever you want to call it. And I know I'm going to get people that don't agree with me here, and that's fine. If you can't see what it is at this point, call it whatever you want, call it conspiracy, call it whatever. I really don't care. But the numbers are there, and it's staggering. We even see numbers of pericarditis and myocarditis, and that's already been admitted by even legacy media, which is sponsored by big pharma. It's really, really disheartening and sad that so many people fell for it. I mean, I'm going to do a video about that. I've seen a few other videos talking about it, but I'll talk about exactly how that came to pass, how people were able to be duped. But yeah, this is causing a lot of sadness, a lot of destruction. And I'm sure some of you guys who are watching have taken this and maybe have some medical problems now. Some adverse reactions, as they call it. Most likely going to get slapped with some little warning from YouTube, from Google. But I am not saying don't take this stuff. I'm not saying that it's everyone's choice. Okay? Did I take it? Hell no. And I don't know why I knew that it was just, maybe common sense to me. I don't know. I don't know what it was. And I don't belittle people for taking it, or who were forced, at least, in some ways forced to take it. I get it, you got to put food on the table for family and whatever. But people who are like, well, I have to travel. I'm sorry, that I don't buy that as an excuse at all. That's a lame excuse. But I get the excuse that if you don't, you can't put food on the table, or you're going to be out on the street or something like that, Still, everyone did have a choice at the end of the day. Not an easy one. But now look at the destruction that's going on. And you can check out many people talking about this. There was Dr. John Campbell, very good YouTuber. Sure, he's not a medical doctor, but he was in the nurse practitioner, and he dives very deeply into the information that's out there. And they tried to silence him as well. There's the oncologist that he brings on, Dalglish, very, very good. And none of these guys have, ulterior motives. The truth comes out no matter what anybody wants to do or say about it, but it comes out. You cannot hide it or sweep it under the rug for so long. I've been wanting to do this video for a long time, speaking of a long time. But what's the other doctor's name? I can't remember his name. He's the cardiologist in the US. Watch a lot of his videos. He's the one that raised the alarm on myocarditis and pericarditis. His name will probably come to my mind, but if not, I'll write it in the video. So yeah, massive increase in turbo cancers. And when I say turbo cancers, it's the fact that it's extremely fast growing type, and it's usually in multiple locations in the body. It's not, I don't think it's a scientific or medical term, but that's what they're calling it. And I can see it now appearing on regular media, legacy media is now talking about it, but they're not associating as to what is causing it. They're sort of saying, well, a bad diet, well this, well that. uh, they can't say what it is because their whole, credibility will be destroyed. Some of the things actually that they say is causing that is the like seed oils, like sunflower seed oil and things like that, which is what a lot of people cook with, especially like fried foods and whatnot. So that's in a lot of our foods. There's which causes disruption in the gut, and there's also the glyphosate, which I'm sure many of you have heard about, which they used to like in Roundup, which was to kill weeds in people's gardens or on their lawns and things like that. In fact, I think a very sick man who got cancer from their product had sued them or something for a ton of money. If you look it up, you'll see it. I don't know if he's passed away. I think he might have passed away, but I did think he did win the case, and it was a lot of money. So that's causing a lot because that's getting into the foods, the crops, and even the farms, the runway from the runoff from like sewage of the animals, all that chemicals mixed in gets into the water, it's just one huge shit show of lack of accountability and safeguards being in place. And yeah, it all started, a lot of this turbo cancer stuff and people's health going down started from that rollout in 2021. Sure, all cancers are not associated to that, but it's a huge difference maker, And yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen because a lot of these big pharma companies and whatnot are quite immune, They are well protected. And that all started when Ronald Reagan gave them kind of immunity from any liability. So I don't know what's going to happen. Unfortunately, a lot of people are going to die. Well, I mean, we're all going to die. Sure, I've talked about that. But I'm saying in the immediate, massive wave of suffering and pain since the last few years. And people ask me why I don't have hope for humanity, why I see this dystopian future. Well, this is, these are some of the blueprints to what they want. Call me a conspiracy theorist all you want. But you can't deny what you see in front of you. Yeah, even my grandmother, who took a few of those, pretty much against her will, kind of, has had even more, her health problems exacerbated. The truth will come out, my friends, and the ones who are evil will pay, I hope. It's really, really sad because I do still believe, though I say many times there's a lot of bad people, there are a lot of good people and who don't deserve the pain and suffering. So, yeah, there's a lot of things going on, weird things in this world, and this is definitely one of those, But the doctor's name was McCullough. I just remembered it. Great guy, risked his practice, risked a lot of things to come out with the truth. We need more people like that. Putting their livelihood on the line as a risk to speak the truth. I think it's very important. So let me know what you guys think. Why do you think there's a sudden increase in cancers, turbo cancers, especially in the young young age group. And yeah, appreciate you watching. If you got all the way to the end, hit the like. Let's get this video pushing out more. And all the best to you guys for hanging in there in this crazy hellish world life we live. And we'll see you in the next video very, very soon. Bye for now.